How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading with the prices going up or down. Over on our total, we're skipping the Dixie today because it hasn't done anything. I believe it's closed for the weekend. We are getting a little bit of a rejection from this Fibonacci level around that 326 billion level. Our stochastic is falling away. RSI is starting to roll away. Momentum's starting to come down. The view up still pretty flat, and the money flow is starting to round away. It is trying to make a lower low. So if we make a lower low with the money flow, we could start another leg down. However, if we manage to make a higher low and push up from here, we could see a push forward and possibly break our resistances. Over on Bitcoin dominance, we're not really going too far here either. We have a bearish divergence on our stochastic that wants to bring us down. Our momentum is coming out with our view up in the bearish territory. The money flow is trying to push to the bullish territory. We're struggling to gain kind of highs. We're getting lower highs currently, so if we start to push down from here, we could start a bit of a bear trend. We would want to watch if we roll over, make a lower high, and break that neutral to start that bear trend. Our RSI is in jeopardy of rolling over, and our stochastic is falling away. So overall, we do have some bearish pressure building up here. Over on our Bitcoin futures, we are starting to push down. We haven't gone too far. Stochastic is pushing away. RSI is pushing away. Momentum's coming down. We have a red dot. That VWAP is in the bearish territory, and the money flow is overall trending out. So overall, we have bearish action here, and we are pushing away from our double top possibility. If we keep getting red candles here, we're going to see lower price action. Over on Bitcoin itself, we are trying to meet some support resistance here, right at our pattern. So we can't quite break away from this pattern and get to that value area low. If we don't get through that value area low and through the top of this resistance here, then it is likely we will see this pattern play out as we'll start to fall away. Our stochastic is coming down, our RSI is pretty flat, the momentum is coming down, VWAP is trending out, and the money flow is overall rounding away, so we do have potential to set up further bearish pressure here. Over on the 4 hour, we are trending out. We are starting to spill over. Our stochastic starting to round out. Our RSI is starting to come down. The VWAP's weakening, and our money flow is flipping to the bearish side. If the VWAP falls to the bearish side and the money flow maintains bearish momentum, we're likely going to get another leg down from here and see lower price action. Real quick, if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and join us with that Discord. We're about to release our statues. We've sent the base template in the chat. I'm about to send the new one soon. I just had to do a couple more tweaks, and then it'll be good to go, and we'll be able to get the first one printed, hopefully sometime this week. Our stochastic is starting to round away. RSI is losing strength. That VWAP and money flow, like I said, are weakening. The momentum wants to come up, but if the VWAP continues down, that momentum is going to lose strength. Over on the 2 hour, we have a manipulation X that wants to reject us from this resistance. So if we get continued red candles from here, we will likely see a leg down. Our stochastic is pushing down pretty aggressively. Our RSI is starting to lose some strength. The VWAP has fallen to the bearish territory and it is falling lower. Our money flow is in a little bit of a bearish trend as we're getting lower highs, and we are coming down to try and get lower lows. So if we do get lower lows, watch out for that. We have a red dot on our momentum as our VWAP fell bearish, so that momentum is falling to the bearish side as well. So most of our indicators have that bearish pressure on the lower time frame. If that continues, that'll weaken our medium to higher time frames, and we'll see that spill over. Our stochastic is pushing down. On the 1 hour, our RSI is overall trending out. The momentum is coming down. The VWAP is pushing lower. The money flow is in a bit of an uptrend, so that is good. If we can continue that uptrend and the VWAP can continue up, the 1 hour may gain some strength, which could help give the 2 hour strength, and that'll lead on to the other time frames. Over on graph for the daily, we are getting a little bit of a bounce here, so that is a decent setup. If we get a strong green candle tomorrow, that would be a bit of a bottoming pattern that could propel us forward. Our stochastic is coming down, our RSI is pushing up, our momentum is trying to push forward, the money flow is maintaining some bullish strength, and the VWAP's kind of so-so. As the VWAP can manage to get some bullish strength on the lower time frames and maintain it, and the money flow can do the same, we'll likely see this be a test of our support and get pushed forward from here. However, if the lower time frames start to weaken, it is very likely we'll come back down and crash through that support. We have a reversal arrow here on our green candle, and we want to set a tweezer top candle here, but we're not quite getting all the way down. I would watch if we continue with the red candles. If that does happen, we could just roll away, and this could just ultimately be where we break. Stochastic is coming down, RSI is starting to fall away. They are both coming down pretty aggressively, so I would watch them closely. The money flow is getting close to that neutral and wants to break to the bearish side, and the VWAP is starting to roll away as well. If that VWAP continues down with that money flow, we're likely going to fall to the bearish side and see another leg down. The momentum is starting to weaken even though it's in the bullish territory because that VWAP is starting to come back down. Over on the 2 hour, we do have a little bit of that tweezer top, so we have a rejection red candle pushing us lower. So that is kind of what I was saying to watch out for on the 4 hour. If we continue with the red candles here, we're likely going to see lower price action on the 2 hour that could jeopardize our higher time frame. The stochastic is getting bearish push out, our RSI is starting to trend away, the momentum is starting to fall with a red dot as our VWAP is falling into the bearish territory. If that VWAP falls to the bearish territory and gains strength, we'll likely see another leg down, especially if the money flow starts to continue this downtrend and break down with it. When the money flow starts to go red, that is an indicator that we have more sell action than buy action. Our stochastic has a bearish divergence here on the 1 hour, bringing us down pretty aggressively. Our RSI is starting to spill over, the momentum is starting to reject away with a red dot as our VWAP has fallen into the bearish territory. The money flow is starting to round away and is in jeopardy of falling to the bearish territory as well. So if that money flow does break down here and the VWAP maintains where it's going, we could start a bearish trend with the VWAP and see the money flow start bearish trend as well, overall bringing us down for a pretty strong leg down if that sustains and spills to our higher time frame. Over on Anchor for the daily, we are trying to push the top of our resistance here, so we do want to get a little bit of a breakout. So that reversal arrow was signaling an uptrend, and I was wrong. Our stochastic is starting to push us out. Our RSI wants to trend up. Momentum wants to push forward, but our VWAP's overall getting lower highs. So even though we're seeing these pushes up, the medium trend is signaling that we're losing strength. Our money flow is in the bullish territory, but it's looking like it wants to round away still. It hasn't really picked up much strength, even though we got a pretty decent sized candle today. Over on the 4 hour, we are looking like we could set up some sort of double top if we're not careful, so if we get a big red candle, I would watch out. Our stochastic is starting to fall away with a bearish divergence, so that could try to bring us down as well. Our momentum is starting to round away. Our RSI wants to run up, but with the stochastic weakening, that's likely going to start to weaken soon as well. That VWAP is falling toward that neutral. If it breaks and goes to the bearish side, we're likely going to set some pressure to the downside. Now money flow is going pretty strong though, so that could help counteract a dip with that VWAP. Over on the 2 hour, we do have a little bit of a red candle forming. So again, if we get a couple more red candles after this, then we would see that double top form, and that could bring us down. Our momentum's overall coming out. Stochastic wants to come out. It does have a bullish cross though, so that bullish cross does want to push us forward. Our RSI is overall getting lower highs, and it is starting to round away as our stochastic's losing strength though, so I would keep an eye on this. The money flow is getting decent movement off of that neutral. It did dip bearish a little while ago, but we have managed to sustain bullish action ever since. We are getting toward a high spot though, right around this 16 to 19 zone. So if we meet some rejection here, we could start to curl away and set up some downside, so watch out for that. Our VWAP is in the bullish territory, but it's not very strong here. If it starts to roll over, we're likely going to fall to the bearish side and start a downtrend. Over on the 1 hour, we are getting continued red candles, so that's not a good sign for us. Our momentum's overall starting to come out. Our RSI is starting to come down. The stochastic does want to run up, so the stochastic's trying to get some strength. If it can break through the 30, it would get some bullish action. Our VWAP overall is getting lower highs and lower lows currently, so if we continue that trend, we could ultimately see a snap back down and get lower price action. Over on XRP for the daily, we are bouncing off the bottom of our flag and our point control, so we do want to continue forward from here. If we get some green candles after this, that would confirm a trend to the upside would be possible. But if we get another red candle, we're likely going to break these supports and see that lower price targets that we have mentioned. The stochastic is starting to roll away. Our RSI is overall losing strength. Our momentum is starting to round off. Our VWAP is getting close to that neutral and wants to break to the bearish side. And our money flow looks like it could start a bearish trend as we met a similar high and we are coming down to test for a lower low. If we get a lower low and then dip back up and get a lower high, that would start a bearish trend that could ultimately bring us down. Over on the 4 hour, we have a manipulation X that is bringing us down a little bit. Our RSI is starting to arch out, stochastic is starting to lose strength, and money flow is starting to stretch out and roll away. The momentum is falling to the bearish side as that VWAP's falling to the bearish side. So overall, if that money flow flips bearish here, we could see a pretty decent move to the downside. Over on the 2 hour, we are testing that support, so that is going to be a critical move. If the next couple candles are red, we're likely going to break this and see that lower price action. However, if we get some green candles to save us here, we'll get a decent bounce up and we could test these higher price targets right around that 52-cent zone, at which point if we can break through that, we would see higher price action. Our RSI is overall rounding out on the 2 hour, stochastic's coming down very strong. Our money flow is in jeopardy of falling to the bearish side, and our VWAP is rejecting away from the neutral. It is in a bit of a bearish trend, so watch out if it makes a lower low. Our momentum is coming out, so overall we have more bearish pressure here on the 2 hour than we do any bullish pressure. Over on the 1 hour, our RSI is starting to kind of round out very aggressively. We do have a green dot. That green dot wants to signal that we could move up. The stochastic is pretty oversold, so it could bounce up here, but I wouldn't bet too much on it if our other indicators aren't permitting. The VWAP is in the bearish territory. It is trying to round here, so if the VWAP can round and make a higher high, then we would start a bit of a bullish trend that could bring us forward. Our momentum overall is coming out, but if that VWAP breaks bullish, that could change. So I would watch the VWAP closely. The money flow is slightly in the bearish territory right now, but it's not very strong. So if the VWAP breaks through, that could bring the money flow up with it and we could get propelled forward. However, if the money flow breaks to the bearish side and continues to bleed here and the VWAP rolls away, we're likely going to see that another leg down. Over on Algo for the daily, don't forget we have the meme coins. It's Saturday. We are testing our resistance for our flag and our point control. We have broken the resistance, but not the point control. Our stochastic is starting to round away. Our RSI is starting to push down. Momentum is starting to fall away, and our VWAP is overall losing strength. The money flow is starting to head down, so overall, we do look like we could set up some more bearish action here. Over on the 4 hour, you can see we are coming up to test that resistance, so if we don't manage to break through in the next couple candles, we're likely going to reject and see lower price action. Our stochastic is falling away, our RSI is overall losing strength, and the momentum is coming out. The money flow is overall trending down, and the VWAP has fallen to the bearish side. That VWAP is trying to get a little bit of a recovery, so that could push our momentum forward. If it does manage to get bullish strength, we could see another trend to the upside. We are overall in a bit of an up channel though, so that is a pretty textbook bearish pattern. Over on the 2 hour, you can see we're testing this resistance. Kinda gotta zoom in to see the candles decently. We're not really getting any strong candles, we're getting more like wicks to both sides, so they're indecision candles. The RSI wants to push up, the money flow struggling to maintain bullish strength, the stochastic wants to push forward, and the VWAP wants to break to the bullish side. The momentum is coming down, it does want to round as a VWAP wants to gain bullish strength. So it'll be important if the VWAP breaks bullish or not. If the VWAP can break bullish with strength and the money flow continues forward, we'll likely break this resistance and continue up. However, if the VWAP rejects here and the money flow starts to curl away, we're likely going to see that leg down. If I can see my mouse. Over on the 1 hour, sorry, my mic's right from where the mouse is for the time frames. Our RSI is overall trending out, stochastic does want to push forward, our money flow wants to trend up, and our VWAP wants to trend up as well, so we are trying to get a bit of a push here on the 1 hour that is positive for us. We're going to need this to sustain on the bullish side if this is going to push us through this resistance and continue forward. Our momentum does want to curl up as our VWAP's gaining bullish strength. But if we zoom in here, the VWAP does look like it could start to stall here, so I would keep a close eye on the next couple candles. Over on Dogecoin for the daily, we are pretty flat here. We haven't really gone anywhere. We could form some sort of double bottom if we get some green candles to form here, which would propel us forward and could invalidate this breakdown. Our stochastic's overall pushing down, RSI is trending away, the money flow is falling to the bearish side, and the VWAP is trying to push forward. So the VWAP does want to get some bullish strength, but it's kind of starting to round here as we're not getting some strong green candles and we're getting more indecision candles. The momentum is pushing down as the VWAP's not very strong. Over on the 4 hour, we are overall trending out. We are making a bear flag here, so that could ultimately push us lower. So watch out for that. That could invalidate any possibility of some upside. Our stochastic is starting to round away. RSI is starting to round away with it. Our money flow is about to break through that bearish territory, so if it does break to the bearish side, we're likely going to see a pretty decent move to the bearish side, as that VWAP is in the bearish territory as well. The momentum has a red dot and is in jeopardy of rolling over here and pushing even lower. So overall, we do look like we could reject here. Over on the 2 hour, we have two manipulation X's that want to bring us down. When you see them in pairs, that's usually when they tend to kick you down pretty hard. Our stochastic is falling to the bearish side, our RSI is trending out, our VWAP has broken to the bearish territory, and our money flow overall is in a bearish trend. The momentum does have a red dot on it as our VWAP has broken to the bearish side, so overall if these trends continue over the next couple candles, we're likely going to break some supports here and see lower price action. Over on the 1 hour, our stochastic's overall trending out, RSI is trending out, our momentum is coming down pretty aggressively, and our VWAP is in the bearish territory. The money flow is overall in a bearish trend, so we could see continued price action down if the VWAP and money flow aren't able to reclaim bullish territory. And finally for today, SHIB is looking pretty similar. We do have a bit of a rising triangle, that could form here. I don't know why I said up triangle, brain fart there. Stochastic is starting to fall away, RSI wants to run up, our VWAP wants to push forward, and that money flow wants to push to the bullish side, but we are stalling here, so it does tend to happen near the point of these kind of patterns, but we're going to want to watch closely. Our momentum does want to come up with a green dot, so that could help push us forward if that VWAP can maintain the bullish strength it has. It'd be heavily dependent on how the lower time frames look, so this is one of them times where you would want to watch more of the lower time frames over the higher time frames. Our stochastic is starting to trend out, not financial advice, RSI is starting to trend out, and our money flow is starting to round away. The VWAP is starting to trend out, and the money flow is in jeopardy of breaking to the bearish side. So with the VWAP falling down pretty aggressively, and the money flow kind of flirting with that neutral, bearish territory, we could see a rejection from this zone. Especially since the stochastic's about to get that bearish break and bring the RSI down with it. You can kind of see that on the 2 hour here. The momentum's even got a red dot, so overall we have more bearish signals here. And money flow is struggling to maintain bullish strength on the 2 hour, and the VWAP is in the bearish territory. So if the VWAP doesn't curl back up and push forward, and it just keeps spilling under, that money flow is likely going to lose strength, and we could see those lower price targets. Over on the 1 hour, we are overall trending out, so this could end up pushing us forward, but it could also end up making a double top if it does that, so I would keep an eye on that. Momentum's overall coming out, our stochastic is pushing down pretty aggressively, and our RSI is struggling to maintain a bullish trend. Our VWAP is falling to the bearish side with a bearish trend, and our money flow is kind of rolling over here. So the 1 hour, if we don't get some continued green candles after this candle, likely is going to spill over to the bearish territory and start a leg down. If that persists, that could bring our other time frames down with it. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.